What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp here, bandwagon fans of the Eastern Conference champion Toronto Raptors. I am back. I've been gone all week. It feels like 2 weeks because I missed the Double or Nothing show. I'm joined by Alex Pawlowski, who was on the Double or Nothing show with Warren Hayes. However, myself and Andrew Thompson did one. It is up on the site. We have a lot of cool content for you guys. This weekend was a learning experience. I will be doing a show on Fightful Select, kind of wrapping up the entire weekend. I might roll that into the Fightful report. Not sure yet, but we've got a lot of cool stuff over there. Jimmy Van joined us. It was a blast. Thank you to everyone who had kind words for Fightful and the site. I can't tell you how cool that is. You know, sometimes social media can be really negative. It was unanimously positive, but just so much cool stuff coming to Fightful. If you missed it, I just broke a story over on Fightful.com and Fightful Select. Jonathan Gresham working without a Ring of Honor contract, but another man working without a contract is Alex Pawlowski. He's a freelancer.
Yeah. I'm free to take my talents anywhere I choose. And
you could have asked me about Wrestling Inc.
Yeah, I could have. But
it's going to be in the electric chair this week. We're going to drop some big name bombs.
Yeah.
Like that. We're going to get people to go, oh. By the way, guys, I am doing a free Q&A show this week to preview the Fightful Select service. So I'll get that Q&A field up. I don't know. Later this week, we're going to have just so much content this week. Remember, subscribe to Fightful Select. That's the most direct way to support us. But yeah, leave a thumbs up on this video. All that good stuff. We've got just nonstop content coming your way. Let's talk about WWE Raw. We do have to, Alex, which I mean, to you, your life is full of despair as the Bucks did lose. Mm-hmm. And now you're going to get prodded by me, who is the worst kind of Raptors fan, a complete bandwagon fan.
Right. No, absolutely.
Complete bandwagon fan. Yeah. Like, I will not hide this. I will not avoid this.
Right.
This Raw, what'd you think of it?
Man, I don't. There aren't words to describe like how bad this was. I mean, in the face of what we saw on Saturday, they decided not to. Okay, well, there's a major thing that's happening over there. I mean, they don't start weekly TV until the fall. Let's spend the intervening months proving why we are still the top dog in this business. Let's go the extra mile for our fans. They deserve it. They did tonight the opposite of that.
I thought they had better shows each of the last 2 weeks than tonight.
It was atrocious. How especially, I mean, compared to what they needed to do after Saturday, there's no excuse for the thing they put on tonight.
Yeah. Show kicked off with Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins both coming out to the ring to plead their case to be cashed in on by Brock Lesnar. Lesnar comes out playing up the beatbox thing with his briefcase. They call it the Beast Box. It's even painted up to look like one now, which is kind of neat. I thought that was very funny, and he looked like he was having fun. But this goes on painfully long, Alex. Like, when he comes out and he does it and he's capitalizing off the meme, I'm like, okay, cool. And then 3 minutes later, he's still doing it to changing themes. Uh-huh. I'm thinking, what are we doing here?
Well, we're going to do this for the next year, Sean. We'll talk about that later on the night. But, there was a point, and I'm not sure exactly how many years ago it was, but where Brock came out in a mariachi costume.
Eddie feud.
Yeah, the Eddie feud. I mean, I'm not sure how many years ago that was. I mean, the intervening 15 years. 15 years ago, the mariachi costume, totally fine. It's a thing, you know, as society has progressed, we've realized what you can and can't do. This is borderline racist. Simply because, like, of who's behind it. No, it is.
Like, what are you talking about? Him doing a beatbox thing?
He's doing the running.
Come on.
He's doing the running man, Sean. He's doing
so
the
did
running
Vanilla
man.
Ice. What the fuck? That was not
okay.
racist. Come on.
It's appropriating a different culture.
Oh my God.
Listen, this is not. I'm not alone in this take, man.
I know you're not, but I respect your take, but I think that is a ridiculous one.
The thing is that this is what they've done the second night they've done this. I don't know where it is in a few months, but it's only going to get worse.
I don't know. I don't think they do this extended stuff anymore. I didn't see that at all, man. And I'm quick to call a spade when it comes to racist shit on this program. And
I see it trending in that direction. Like all he needs is a giant like clock, a chain around his neck. Like there's next levels to this. All I'm saying is it'd be fine if it was funny. It's not funny. It's stupid.
It's stupid, but I don't think it's racist in the least. Not even a little bit. By the way, guys, if you guys want to donate a super chat, you can have your question answered, your statements read, even if they're as bad as Alex's take right there. We'll allow it. And Alex didn't even pay to do that.
No.
I'm giving it to him for free.
Right, fine.
Justin Lopez, who I met this weekend, thank you, Justin, said, this Raw made me wish the NBA Finals started tonight.
Yeah.
Complete trash. P.S. Cool meeting you this weekend, bro. Now I got to ask you, Alex.
Yeah.
Considering your situation,
yeah,
was this Raw bad enough for you to hope that the NBA Finals started this week? Tonight.
I'm not watching a minute of that Finals. The wounds are too fresh. But I will celebrate when the Raptors get swept.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on.
It's happening.
Come on.
Yeah.
So Brock leaves. Kofi Kingston, the wild card, gets attacked by Dolph Ziggler. The wild card.
Wild card.
But it doesn't end there because we come back from commercial to see Dolph Ziggler attacking Xavier Woods. The wild card.
Yep.
To help set up. Alex, what show is coming up?
Sands of Time.
And, you know, it's funny that you mention Sands of Time. Because, guys, we have a brand new t-shirt up at Fightful.com. The official Sands of Time shirt. Check this beauty out. Multiple colors. It is gorgeous. It is just miraculous. Sir Mike Fergus sent us an amazing design. I just love it. It works with so many different colors. Go check it.
You're muted. Okay. So, yeah, this is the thing about what happened tonight. At the beginning of this, we had can't hear you. We had this we ran back basically the end of SmackDown again. I mean, I don't need to all the stuff that Kofi did with Dolph could have been done tomorrow and we wouldn't have missed anything. You didn't have to do the wild card rule to have Dolph and Kofi continue their feud on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, I don't hear anything you're saying. So here's the other thing. Kofi was brutally attacked. Like he got his head smashed inside a chair and the neck like thrown into the announce table. And now I can hear you.
Can you? Yeah. It's probably coming from my webcam.
Yeah,
we'll just have to deal with degraded quality for a while.
But
I got too excited with Sands of Time that the mic came unhooked. And
great.
Hangouts isn't the best with that, but
no,
we'll rock with it.
I was just going to say that great job for Kofi selling the incredible, horrible beatdown where he was stretchered almost all the way to the back to come out and be like, I want Brock Lesnar tonight.
Yeah, okay. He was like, you raised a pretty damn good point. He got his ass whipped really bad by Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, nope, that didn't happen.
All he was worried about was Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
So Kofi comes back out and saves Xavier. Dolph cuts a pretty solid promo, but I want to know how you feel about the acting aspect of this, Alex, because You had some qualms with it last week.
It's better. He wasn't screaming as much, which is good. But I mean, it's a weird deal. You know, I like that he listen. I don't know about the acting so much, but I do like the content of it. It's like, you're better than this, Kofi. I know you're better than this. You know, like, and that's a different thing than like, you suck. I know I can beat you. You've never been good at all. I much prefer the heel actually having a measure of respect for his opponent, but also still knowing you can beat him. That's much more nuanced, at least. Dolph is playing unhinged, and that's fine. But I much prefer tonight's delivery to last week's, where he was just screaming everything.
Usos have a block party backstage. EC3 is there in his gear, mind you.
Are you sure it's not a Brock party?
God damn it. Well, Tamina shows up, and they do this thing that WWE does so much where somebody stares.
Yep.
And they smile, and they're like, ah! That shit is so dumb.
Yeah.
I don't need that. Maybe Tamina and Naomi will team up.
I don't know.
Whatever. Sure. The Revival thank the Usos for being invited, but it was actually Naomi that invited them, Alex.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
what do you think of that?
I mean, it's a weird deal. Like, she's like, I think you guys should get along, I guess. Like, I don't understand how this whole work. This is they tried to solve their blood feud via cornhole, so the whole thing is a mismatch to begin with.
Can you hear me right now?
Yes, I can. Much better.
Oh, awesome. Better quality, I'm assuming.
Yes, much better.
Okay, great. I fixed it. I am a genius. So that's a thing. I do like that Naomi kind of tried to mend the fences, though I don't know why. But I also thought it was funny that she said, you all need to squash this beef. And Dash Wilder literally squashed a piece of beef in his hand.
Yeah.
They decide to settle this over a game of cornhole. Were you familiar with cornhole or beanbag toss before this day?
Yeah, it's hugely popular at Brewers tailgates.
Okay.
Everybody plays it. Yep.
Jimmy had no goddamn clue what that was until this weekend.
He's Canadian.
And then had the balls at dinner when I asked, like, I can't remember what dish I asked about, maybe truffled mashed potatoes. And I'm like, how does that work, Jimmy? Because it sounds like a step too many.
Yeah.
It sounds like a step beyond heatable Bob Evans mashed potatoes that are way better anyway.
Yeah.
And he was livid that I wouldn't have a clue, but he didn't know what cornhole was.
Did you tell him to take the gravy off his French fries too?
Oh, man. So eventually Dawson stomps the boards. Would you say that the Revival are weak bag tossers?
Yeah, they might be. I mean, the whole feud is kind of tossing bags weekly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a veteran of cornhole, and sometimes the veterans of cornhole have a strong bag toss, Alex.
It's true.
They want to be accurate. They want to perform.
Yep.
They don't want to disappoint. You don't want to go weeks without being unseen, weeks without knowing that you can do the job. And then you're right back into it, and you come up short, or you just don't come at all. I don't know. Fortunately, our buddies at Blue Chew can help you out. That's Blue Chew, like the color blue. Brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. Take them anytime, day or night, even during a dumbass WWE skit. No waiting at the pharmacy, no in-person doctor's visit. It is prescribed online and goes straight to your door in a discreet package. You don't have to be seen in front of a, albeit dwindling, worldwide television audience. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy, and you can get it for free at Fightful, or actually at BlueChew.com. I almost said Fightful.com, code BlueChew. Damn, I've done that pitch 100 times. But hey, you can do something 100 times, and maybe at time 101, you don't get the performance that you like. Blue Chew's here to help. BlueChew.com, code Fightful. Use it, get it free, pay $5 shipping. Allegedly, Alex, I am being shipped a giant Blue Chew backdrop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. I'm going to do some fun promos that way. Blue Chew did a lot of great stuff with StarCast this weekend. That was a very, very fun weekend. I'll tell you what wasn't fun. Shane McMahon says he's wrestling tonight, Alex.
Shane McMahon says he's wrestling tonight. Won't tell us who he's wrestling. Hey, Drew, you want to come with me? My henchman, my lackey, Drew McIntyre, who's got no better thing to do than just like to do whatever I tell him to do. Also, it's a crime that they don't refer to each other as Shane McIntyre. Like, it's just like, come on, like that's an obvious thing. But my favorite part of this whole thing is he goes down halfway down the ramp and decides to go back out. I don't understand what that was. That was just weird. It was like, nah, I'm not gonna go to the ring now. And he says, I'm gonna leave. And Drew just follows him because why not? What is this?
So Shane gives a history of the Samoan wrestling dynasty. I thought that was a neat angle to take. Just show that he knows the history. Sure. Lance Anoa'i is the opponent, and not WWE ready would be a massive understatement, Alex.
Yeah. I mean, but was he supposed to be?
No, but I mean, I think he did have a tryout.
Right. Okay. I mean, well, look.
Is 27 years old, has been wrestling for 8 years or 9 years.
I mean, from what it appeared like they were trying to tell me, it was like this guy doesn't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not hey, here's this up and comer. I mean, I guess they did.
I'm just saying for his sake. I'm like, man,
it's not.
You'll get signed if you get in shape. That's just if you get in shape and shore up your ring work, you're gonna get signed.
Yeah, well, yes, even as a personal favor to his cousin. Yeah. Like it's. But this was all a very. This whole segment, man, it's just so much Shane McMahon. There's just so much Shane McMahon. It's too much.
Drew tosses Lance all around. It took 50 minutes for a match to start on Raw, and this lasted about 2 minutes. This is back and forth and got "this is awful" chants. However, Lance had a really good one-legged drop kick.
Yeah. Boy, that was crisp.
And that Lance Anoa'i got the crowd to stop chanting "this is awful."
Yes. Well, that's the thing is they were chanting AEW and "this is awful." I don't know if it was particularly this particular match. Maybe it was the fact that it was literally 52 minutes into the first hour of Raw before we first heard a bell signifying that the first match of the night was beginning. That's, I mean, it's nominally a wrestling show. And then I had Randy Cruz on Twitter saying, "No, that's sports entertainment." I'm like, okay, great. So right now, all they're missing is the sports and the entertainment. But other than that, it's going great.
Yeah, the crowd does not want to see this. Shane wins with the modified triangle. Shane puts it on again and says he'd do it to Sika if he was here. Calls Roman Reigns a mistake. So Shane booking a match against Roman's cousin wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre beating Roman's cousin, throwing him around ringside wasn't enough. Shane McMahon capitalizing on that wasn't enough. Beating him down after the match wasn't enough. But as soon as Shane McMahon says Roman was a mistake, Roman goes, "I've had it."
Well, no, here's the thing. You forget, Roman's a SmackDown superstar. He had to drive all the way from SmackDown to get here tonight.
So he was a wild card, yeah.
Obviously, he's a wild card, but that's the whole thing. Is that
I'd forgotten.
He heard what was going on with his cousin. He's like, "I better get over to Raw because I'm on SmackDown in an entirely different location. And I better get over there." And so he flew because he's Superman.
We had Reigns. We had Ziggler, Kofi, Xavier,
Truth.
That's 5. I guess New Day is 1 act. Plus, you have to remember the IIconics are floating, and Becky. I'm okay with that. Raw champion, SmackDown superstar, whatever. But man, it is really bastardized, this roster, and I don't like this wild card at all.
The wild card thing is stupid because it's not wild card if it's the same people every week.
Oh, how about this? Carmella too.
Yeah.
So we had 6 people.
Oh, at least. That's the whole thing. Is it's the same people every week, or it's however many they choose. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Again, the lack of care shown into how they prepare for this show. This show of all shows, again, after Saturday, it just boggles the mind.
By the way, the War Raiders have not wrestled in 3 weeks. The tag champions are never on the show. Okay.
The tag champs wrestled on main event.
There you go.
So
Brock is back. He's beast boxing again. Seth comes out and wants Lesnar to face him now. I'm very interested to find out your non-racial takes on Brock finding out about the contract, because there are some people that, like, I think it's in character for him, but it's beyond in character for him. It makes him look just stupid.
Stupid.
Yep. I mean, it's not new. He's been cashed in on before.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like, Seth had won the Money in the Bank briefcase a few weeks before that cash in. He'd had it, since the Money in the Bank, almost 9 months. So here's the deal. It was really funny when he hit Paul Heyman with the piece of paper. That was funny.
Yeah, that was very funny.
But it doesn't excuse the overall stupidity of this entire segment. Number one, him coming out and doing the beatbox thing again made me wonder for a split second if my PS View had shorted out and gone back to the beginning of the night, and I had to fast forward to get back here. They literally Groundhog Day'd themselves during the same episode of Raw, which is high marks for that. And I guess it's weird. This thing is now he says, I have a whole year to cash in, so I'm not gonna. Does that mean he's gonna show up to Raw every week? No, it's not. He's not. So I guess that their point is they think that ratings are going to come from people tuning in every week on Raw to see if Brock Lesnar's going to cash in this week.
I do find it funny that the guy who loves to sit at home in character and in real life realizes he can now sit at home for 11 months and is even happier.
Sure.
That's cool, because they didn't need to announce a title shot. They don't need to do that. The best use of Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, is him showing up and being a bully and saying, I can cash in whenever I want. That's good use of Brock Lesnar.
Right. No. If on the Raw after SummerSlam, I mean, we're assuming Brock will have a match then or whatever. I'm saying hypothetically, if we've forgotten about Brock Lesnar because he hasn't been on Raw in months, which is, the way things normally go, and Seth has a particularly grueling match against somebody, and all of a sudden, as he's laid out in the corner and the other guy's kind of struggling to get to his feet, we hear the boom, boom, ba-dum, bum. The crowd's going to go insane. So yeah, that makes sense. But the problem is in order to get that, you have to keep Brock and the briefcase out of sight, out of mind for months. So I guess that's how you build ratings.
Even within character, it's hard for me to believe that Brock didn't know about the year thing. He's been around,
I know,
for more of the duration of the Money in the Bank situation than he hasn't been. Brock has been back in WWE for 7 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just okay. But I mean, was it funny? Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
R-Truth and Carmella make their way out to the ring after this, and Seth Rollins just disappears. He could have just stomped R-Truth in the head and become a double champion.
or I would have loved if R-Truth runs into the ring, accidentally bumps into Brock Lesnar, who F5s him, and that's how Truth loses the title. Brock doesn't pin him, but Truth is knocked out, and you got guys fighting over who gets to pin R-Truth. By the way,
maybe Heyman pins him.
Yeah, good. The 24/7 title, I said this last week, I thought that the title was going to change hands at least once during the intervening several days. The fact that they didn't do that, where the whole point of this title, it feels like to me, is stuff you're going to do on social media. You're going to find somebody get pinned. I mean, not that Truth couldn't have gotten it back, but the fact that nobody pinned him at all, it's a weird thing. His thing of Old Town Road, that video he made was priceless.
Yeah. R-Truth is doing great stuff. I think you mentioned it last week that I think he's the perfect person for this. And I'm glad that it's not changing every single episode or every single week, because eventually it will. It's going to. And off of TV and all that. So I think it's okay to have it established night one, hey, this can happen, and then over the next week you kind of establish the basis of this, like Truth eventually showing up at the cookout, and hey, he successfully defended his title 7 times now.
I still would love any kind of explanation of what the actual perks are that you get when you're champion. Do you get like a one-time bonus in your check from becoming champion? Does the bonus then increase if you're able to hold on to it for a specific amount of time? Like otherwise, I don't understand why a bunch of guys want it and a bunch of guys couldn't even be bothered by it. Like it's a weird thing. Like what are the actual rules surrounding this championship versus other ones? It's kind of just, hey, it's a thing. It's a thing we do. Accept it. And I don't want to just accept it.
Yeah, it's understandable. Nikki Cross doesn't get an entrance. She teams with Becky Lynch against the IIconics. This was not great, in my opinion. Nikki handled the early part of the match, and it looked like Peyton's face got crushed by that body press to the outside. But Peyton continued going on. The ref is distracted. Can't see a Nikki pin. Becky tags in, still getting great ovations. That's good news. However, she's not necessarily booked as the biggest star on this show. I've noticed that her aerial offense has been restricted over the last few weeks. We see some second rope stuff. I'm okay with that. She wins with the manhandle slam that didn't look great. She's used it before as, I think, the last kicker or something like that. So it's not a new move. But what did you think of this new finish? Newer finish.
I like her having a pinfall finish. I think she's got to have one. I think she can finish most people with the disarmer, but she's got to have a way she can actually a move that pins you. So this is fine. I think you're right. The move didn't look crisp tonight, but I think it's interesting. It's like a pump handle rock bottom.
The last ride. Sorry, I got that confused. Yes, it is. It's a pump handle rock bottom, but there was no throwing the arm over this time. She's kind of grabbed around.
Yeah, weird.
IIconics never win, which further reaffirms Sasha Banks' qualms, in my opinion.
How many weeks ago did Paige go, hey, here's the Kabuki Warriors, and they've got a tag title shot?
Almost 2 months ago.
Like it's just a weird deal. They're like, oh, great. When are we? Is that going to happen or no? Maybe not. I'm not. It's just people forget about stuff from week to week, and like we don't because we're paid to actually watch and keep track of this stuff. But they're apparently not paid to write and keep track of this stuff.
Nikki's tackle on the outside to stop Peyton from coming in didn't look great either. This was just not a good match, and Becky and Nikki in particular are way better than that. IIconics never win matches. Lacey Evans shows up and then walks away.
Yeah, she's back doing that shtick. But the other thing is, I kind of missed Alexa Bliss with the coffee at ringside. Like, I
did too.
Like she wasn't on the show at all tonight. Unless I'm missing something. So it was kind of weird not having her be a part of this at all, because I feel like she kind of what it looks like now is that Nikki is being like the wannabe best friend of Becky, fulfilling the old Alexa Bliss role. I say the old Alexa Bliss role. It's something she did a week ago. So it's a weird thing of like Nikki's just trying to be everybody's friend, or have we actually moved on from the Alexa and Nikki thing to a Nikki and Becky thing, and Alexa's out of the picture now? I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Alex. You can't tell from week to week if they've completely dropped plans.
Right.
Or if they're going to pick it back up, and that's a frustrating point.
If the storytelling was better, we would know that they weren't just dropping things out of the blue, because they don't do that. They would never do that because good shows don't do that. But because they've done it all the time with such increasing regularity, we go, I guess it's perfectly plausible that they might have just completely dropped Alexa from this entire angle, and they won't mention it ever again. And we're supposed to just forget about it because that's how they handle stuff like this.
Demons Diva says, it's her pig's birthday. Let her have the night off. Happy birthday, Larry Steve.
Happy birthday,
Larry Steve. Okay, it was pretty good, Demon Diva. Pretty good. Tyler Go Bulls D-Rose 2019 sent a super chat. Thank you. And says, Sean, are you watching Harry Potter in the background? Why does WWE have poo-poo sounds in their entrances rather than pyro? Well, they don't have pyro because they caught US Bank Arena on fire one time.
Yeah.
And for any number of reasons, they just didn't seem like it was worth it. I don't know that the money that they pay for pyro is always worth it. Harry Potter was on after Raw. I can't stand Harry Potter. My wife is a big fan. I buy her Harry Potter related shit all the time. I do not like Harry Potter. Harry Potter and the Omelette of Stone. Not my jam.
No.
Not my thing. The Sharpshooter sent a super chat and says, top 3 promotions right now. When do we see Tessa Blanchard jump ship to another promotion? Hashtag SRS for president. You might want to turn hashtag SRS has too many skeletons in his closet for that shit. Well, maybe not. Maybe not, considering the landscape.
Maybe not.
Top 3, well, it depends. If you're talking about quality, AEW had a strong showing the other day. After one show, it's tough for me to say that, but based on buzz and all that, MLW is really, really, really great. New Japan, pretty good. But MLW has been doing consistently good stuff. Man, WWE, I believe they can, but
they have the horses under contract to be, without question, the best wrestling company the world has ever seen. But they choose not to use them in that way. There are so many people that I'm thinking of, like, gosh, I wonder who's next to like pull an Ambrose and just let their contract run out and then show up like pretty much immediately on AEW, because that's got to be a game plan now for a lot of guys, because the whole I'd like my release please isn't working out because they're being added time to their contracts and stuff like that. So just let it play out, and maybe eventually you'll get that shot at an actual wrestling company, not a sports entertainment one.
Wild Boy in the chat, I know that you sent a super chat. Resubmit that question so I can see it again. We will answer it. You don't have to send another super chat. Just send the question again. Ricochet defeated Cesaro. I thought that the early going of this was very good. You know, I had kind of gotten on Ricochet for doing the same spots over and over, and they became less impressive. That didn't happen here. We saw a lot of different things. Like he ran up Cesaro with a drop kick and did a backflip. Just awesome. Just really, really cool. Cesaro did the Cracker Jack, Hernandez's old move, where he grabs you by the throat and does the choke toss overhead. That's such a cool move that he can do, Alex. There was no heat to this at spots, but then, man, the crowd just got into it, specifically after a torture rack powerbomb is turned into a code red. Audience loved it. Ricochet handstands on the apron and goes from a victory roll position into a Hurricane Rana pin. I like the finish. It was a little bit different, a little bit, almost off guard. I'm okay with it. I'm not okay with 50-50 booking for the most part. With these two, I don't hate it so much as long as the, how do I put this? The air of competition is really put forth on commentary. Right. I'd be okay with that, Alex.
Yeah, no, I mean, these two are fantastic together. They're made to wrestle each other, because Cesaro is way more agile and athletic than he's given credit for. At the same time, he's so strong. He can do stuff. Like, he can base for all these amazing stuff that Ricochet can do. The spot that I loved the most was Ricochet going for his 450, landing and rolling through it, turning around as Cesaro just trucks him with an European uppercut, which sends him spiraling into the turnbuckles. That was amazing. As you said, 50-50 booking can be kind of a drag, but I mean, in a best of 7, I feel like these guys could trade matches back and forth, as opposed to like the usual, like, oh, this guy's up 3-0. There's no way the guy can recover and win 4 in a row, and then he does. I'd rather see it 50-50 with these two guys. They're so good.
Someone, for some reason, says SRS missed NXT. I'd never miss NXT. Don't know what that's about. Wild Boy in the super chat says, do you see Kofi being a 2-time champ or one and done if he loses the title? That's a really good question. I think originally it was going to be one and done.
Yeah.
I think Kofi has delivered to the point to where he's in main event territory whenever they need him to be in main event territory in the future. I could see him being a multiple-time champion, Alex.
Yeah, I think it all depends on who they have plotted out to be the guy who takes it from him. Is it a real like lengthy feud that actually like requires, like, if Kofi gets bested by his rival and then earns a rematch, could the story then end with Kofi getting the belt back? Maybe, or honestly, I could see him losing the title and then getting it back 6 months, a year later. depending on how long Kofi wants to keep doing this. But one thing I don't necessarily need is for the New Day to not be a thing anymore.
I agree. Everybody's all about that. Like, do you think a heel turn's coming? Do you see that? People that know them and have worked with them closely have said they don't want to do it. They don't ever want to do it. They said they don't want to do it. I'm with you, Alex. I don't think they should. Why split them up? Especially when you have those three guys. I'll put it like this. If you're not creative enough to make a storyline where these three people can wrestle each other without being enemies, then quit your job in creative. Then don't do it. Then don't be involved in creative writing, because the shit ain't hard. You can make them have matches and them be compelling and interesting and dramatic without having Big E run over Kofi Kingston with an ambulance or something. I mean, you don't need it.
There's a lot of stuff you can easily have really interesting, nuanced storylines with this thing, where for a while there's a falling out between one guy and the other ones. Not a heel turn, just like, for example, Big E and some guy, Rusev, whatever, have a very personal singles feud, and it gets really crazy, and Big E becomes a different guy or whatever, and Xavier tries to talk him down, like, man, you're not the same guy that I know, and Big E has a falling out with Xavier, and Kofi's got to play peacemaker. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, which doesn't require like somebody to hit somebody in the back of the head with a chair.
Yeah, I agree. We had a little argument on this show. We're still doing fine. My God, it doesn't always work. It doesn't always have to be, oh my God, they never talk to each other again, and they're feuding. I think Mandy and Sonya's thing has been pretty good with that, where they're frustrated with each other and they look like they're about. Because in wrestling, if anybody shows frustration, split. There you go. Yeah. No, Sonya turned around and she was like, you know what? You deserve this shot. I'm going to make it happen. Like, I like those multi-layered aspects. Rob Wilkins sent a super chat and said, hey, Sean, I know you're traveling. Did you hear anything about the backstage mood? Backstage mood has long been a thing that, I mean, it differs from person to person. It really depends on your case. So there is no all-encompassing backstage mood. Like, there are some people who are super happy with their jobs. There are some people that just aren't happy, that don't like anything that's going to happen. But about AEW, I have not heard anything from WWE people yet because I've been traveling. I'm going to find out tomorrow, though. Oh, boy. Tyler, Go Bulls D-Row 2019. Hey, Sean. Brazzers says it's whack-off day tomorrow. Hint, hint. Blue Chew segue. That electric chair segment shows the audience needs scripts. You are abusing the super chat, Tyler. And yes, the audience does need scripts for sure. We'll talk about that. WWE Universal title top contender. Now, this was a 4-way elimination match, Alex.
Yep.
Kind of. Didn't need to be. That was weird. We got a lot of backstage promos. What did you think of those the style of the backstage promos, the old superstar style?
I mean, okay, it's fine. I mean, the thing, the AJ Styles thing was interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of that. I'm sure you'll find out for us what the injury is and all that kind of stuff, if that's even a work or a shoot or whatever. The idea that, like, when they announced Baron Corbin was in the match instead of AJ, I was like, well, that's who's winning, and everyone seems to be so upset that he did win. That just seemed to be the way that they were moving things, especially when they were like, if Braun or Bobby Lashley were to win this match, they'd face each other, and then they'd face Seth Rollins, which is never going to happen. So those guys are out. And The Miz doesn't seem like he's in that place where he's going to go for Seth. So all these promos were fine. My favorite promo is set up by The Miz saying, we just found out we're having a baby girl, so I'm going to go out there and go ahead for Monroe and my wife and for my new baby girl on the way. Yes. And then immediately after that, Braun's like, Bobby Lashley, I'm going to rip your arms off and beat you to death with them. Miz, mazel tov. Congratulations. A baby girl really is a blessing for all involved. Baron Corbin, I'm going to rip off your neck and take a poop down your throat.
I loved it. It was so stupid.
It was so great.
I loved it. I knew you were going to comment on that, but I had forgotten it in my notes. Ah, man, that was.
I want more of Braun as occasionally very thoughtful, like with his compliments. I think that'd be like, I just want to say to Bobby Lashley, I'm going to kill you this week. Sands of time. And by the way, I just wanted to say, Renee, that outfit looks great on you. Like or whatever it is, Have you do something not different with your hair? Like whatever it is. That occasionally he just brings it down and it gets really real and gentle.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Do something.
This is fast paced. Some of the common aspects of WWE matches, like Strowman getting posted, happens.
Mm-hmm.
One of the better Tower of Doom spots I've seen. Braun throws everybody around. But the question that loomed above everything, I was like, man, why aren't Corbin and Lashley teaming at this point? Because it's something that you pitched an awful lot. Miz, it was so weird. He had these corner spots, and he was slower than Christmas, the first one, early in the match. But in the last one, he was real fast. Corbin with another great deep six, big shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Strowman mows down Corbin a couple times in a row, and then he and Lashley just disappear into the crowd. No elimination was officially announced by the ring announcer.
Oh.
It was just kind of said, well, they're gone. Bye.
Yep.
So why wasn't this just a fatal four-way pin the guy in the ring thing?
Because it was a mistake. Because tonight was filled with mistakes. I feel like they announced it as being an elimination match, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have a finish for that." No, that's okay. We'll just play it off when they leave. Okay, great. Or it was already announced, and they were like, "Hey, wait, whoa, what are we doing? Just leave. Okay, great." Like, it just felt like everything was thrown together again. No preparation, no care taken in preparing, in putting together this episode of Raw. One of the most important that they've done in years to come off of what we've seen. And again, I keep referring to it because you gave a man a hero's send off. You did a whole network special about his last match for the company, and then he just shows up somewhere else, signs a multi-year deal, and is doing promos about how he used to be in prison and now he's out.
Did you see the thing where he was sitting with the Shield? Yeah. And straight up alluded to AEW. He said, "Yeah, I'm cashing in my chips, rolling the dice, all this stuff." I was like, "You son of a bitch."
Oh yeah.
And there were people who had the balls after the Moxley thing dropped that, stop reading so much into the clues. He's not that kind of guy. And I'm like, maybe you think he hasn't been that kind of guy for the last 8 years, but I get the feeling that his stifling of creative satisfaction has maybe conjured some of that up. AJ Styles was not in this match. He was not on this show. Has not wrestled since Money in the Bank. Were you surprised he wasn't in it? But he does have the reduced schedule right now.
He has the reduced schedule, which is fine. And I like that they played off saying, I felt something pop in my back in that match with Seth Rollins. No excuses though, that kind of stuff. That's good. They're keeping him as kind of like this tweener, like he's got respect for the faces, kind of a thing. But he will take them out if he needs to. Whatever, that's fine. It's all good. I just don't know if I into the whole like Braun and Bobby Lashley blood feud thing. Like I don't. Why you guys had a match announced for the Desert Show, and now you hate each other. Okay, fine, I guess.
Miz's double knees again went really faster, and then he got caught with an end of days. Because, I knew personally, I was like, well, there's no way that Corbin isn't going to win and face Seth Rollins at Sands of Time, because it's bigger than WrestleMania. So it's got to be Corbin.
It has to be Corbin. He's the only guy for it.
And his work has been, honestly, his best in the ring over the last 2 months ever.
I have very few issues with Baron Corbin in ring. I think sometimes he rests on his laurels with his rest holds, but he's got really fun moves. I love his worked punch. Some cool stuff that he does, and I like all that. I just still for the life of me, can't get over the fact that it was months and months and months ago that he was last the general manager of Raw, and they still haven't figured out what to do about his look. During the European tour, house shows, untelevised, he was wrestling in like a Baron Corbin t-shirt and jeans, and people saw those pictures like, oh, finally they're getting him out of that waiter's uniform. And no, they're not. And they still have yet to figure out why it is that's his shtick now. It's beyond time to get rid of it.
Then we get the electric chair, probably the last edition of the electric chair we will ever see.
Wow.
This is a segment hosted by Corey Graves, but fans ask the questions, and fans need scripted badly. The only one that was any good was some little girl who kind of fired back at Sami Zayn when he said, "Is that what you're asking me?" And she goes, "Duh." And the crowd loved that. They ate that up.
Oh,
but
she was great. Sign her.
Yeah, the headline came out of this when Sami Zayn goes, "You asked me that? You could have asked me about AEW." And of course, I'm insinuating or assuming that it was a scripted line. There's no reason to assume otherwise. It was WWE's way of acknowledging them without getting too heavy into the talking point. All the time I hear the AEW shouldn't take shots at WWE. It makes them look minor league. And I'm like, my God, guys, WWE drove a Jeep to WCW's arena. They did Billionaire Ted skits. They said, I hear Impact is hiring. They've done all kinds of stuff, like John Cena mentioning that he would go to TNA if Vince McMahon didn't, like during a Vince McMahon feud. Like they bring up competition all the time and have for a very long time. But this blatantly about AEW, that doesn't necessarily happen. And to be honest with you, a nice reaction, but I think it does give AEW more credibility as competition, just the fact that WWE mentioned them on the show.
Sure. I mean, and also there's a lot of things here. First with the AEW stuff, it makes perfect sense that it would be Sami. It would seem more of a shoot with Sami. You know, the idea that he's unhappy there, that he would be unhappy there. He doesn't like working there. And, you know, to the point where I'm like, gosh, I'd like to see Sami Zayn versus Kenny Omega. You know?
And the thing is, you mentioned it on the air, but yeah, why wouldn't he? His character, why wouldn't his character do this?
Right, absolutely. The other thing about the segment in general, let's, for example, just for a minute, forget about all these really non-actors who are asking these questions, who, you know, guys stumbling over their words, really bad questions, some guys throwing in a woo for no reason. The little girl, obviously the star of the whole segment, but when they say Sami Zayn's going to be on the electric chair in the electric chair segment, I'm like, oh, that's just a fancy way of saying the hot seat.
Yeah.
But they actually show in the ring a chair made up to look like an actual electric chair.
Probably Vince's own electric chair that he has like in his collection next to a T-Rex head or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to do your show. The name of the show is Sands of Time in Saudi Arabia, where they just got done executing a bunch of political prisoners. And you're going to do your cutesy, funny show, a segment like about capital punishment, basically. In the chair, who would happily execute the guy who's Syrian? Come on, like this is, you guys gotta just run it by somebody who's thinking before you do something like this, actually putting him in a real, not a real electric chair, obviously, but one that's made up to look as real as possible. It was just really, really bad.
Yeah, it was. And I don't need to see this segment ever
again.
I tweeted that I hope it's replaced by a segment where the subject sits in a throne that was hit with a sledgehammer. That would be a lot better.
Even better.
Seth Rollins then defeated Sami Zayn. This was surprisingly average early, but got very good. Rollins cracked Zayn with a big drop kick, and then Rollins knee buckles, the never-ending story there. There are things that Sami Zayn does that I really love. He pushes a crossface on his Blue Thunder pin. Now, what I mean by that is he does that pin, and I mean he can hook the shoulders with his feet, but he reaches down, and when I say crossface, I don't mean like the crippler crossface. I mean like he pushes the face across like this.
Mhm.
What that does is when you try to get your shoulder up, it causes a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of pain, makes it a little bit more difficult to get your shoulder up, because in doing so, for any number of reasons, it just makes it way more uncomfortable. That little thing, just reaching up, grabbing the face, that is a nuance of professional wrestling, a nuance of pinning people that I love that Sami Zayn does. Rollins eats knees on a frog splash, but wins with 2 stomps. I'm okay with that because Sami is not going to be at Sands of Time. And Rollins is. Rollins gets a big win going into Sands of Time. And Zayn, who knows if he's even on the show next week, maybe puts over somebody that is going to the show. What do you think of the match?
Match is good. These guys work really well together. I'm a huge Sami Zayn fan. He's would be one of my top guys in WWE that I'd like to see in a place like AEW, where he could really be let loose and have great matches. And hell, act out some good storylines too. I'm assuming. But this is okay. In my book, I like this is fine. Yeah, the whole deal with like, hey, Brock's backstage, so what could happen? Anything could happen. I really hope tonight that they filmed a whole bunch of little silent vignettes of Brock wearing different T-shirts and different sweatpants sitting on a couch, and like Paul changes his suit, so they can run one of these things every week forever. But he all filmed them tonight. Like, he's never going to be anywhere, but they're going to try and convince us that he's at every taping of Raw, because that's the way he normally is, right?
Well, now I need a Brock Lesnar WWE Network show in the style of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Where he is on his couch criticizing music videos or other wrestling matches.
Yeah.
I would be down for that. That was Raw.
Well, we forgot the Firefly Fun House.
Oh, Firefly Fun House. Also, in the other stuff category, WWE says that Rey Mysterio is vacating the title, which Samoa Joe comes out and confirms. But Rey's coming out and doing it next week.
Yeah, I don't understand what that was. Like, you didn't have time to do that tonight?
Maybe it's a swerve.
Maybe it's a swerve.
Considering that Brock did do the running man for 7.5 minutes, I think they had time.
Yeah, they had that, and they also ran back that Randy Orton and Triple H video package that lasted, an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that. But Firefly Fun House tonight was really, really special. Like, it was really special. Like, it went, because last week it was just a little thing of him scrackly, and all of a sudden, hey, it's there, let me in, that stuff. But tonight was really interesting. Like, it really got into the psychology of it. Like, basically, because I've lost so many matches, I don't have confidence anymore. But when I put this up, and that's amazing. They drew the mask on a paper plate, which is so Mr. Rogers. It's great. He just puts it up, and when I put this in front, now I'm confident. Now I understand who I am. And his little argument with Abby about, like, why won't you just let me go? Why do you keep me here in limbo? Like, that was really interesting. This character is so far and away the most compelling, not only on the show right now, but like, I think of Bray Wyatt's career. Like, there's so many ways you can go. It's so much more fleshed out than anything else they're doing on the show. Like, I mean, I sign my petition. 3 hours of Firefly Fun House and the occasional Ricochet and Cesaro match. It's way better than the other crap they're giving us right now. I'm so looking forward to seeing where this character keeps traveling, because it's so compelling to me.
A reminder, guys, subscribe, leave a thumbs up. Just to give you guys a rundown of what we got going on. Me and Andrew got, like, I think 19 interviews or something. Fightfulselect.com. We have a preview clip. Myself and Jimmy Van did like an hour talking to Chris Van Vliet, who I think is one of the best interviewers in the game. He has a fascinating story that will be up in the coming weeks. We just got a lot of stuff. At one point, Barbie Hayden put me in a headlock. Joey Janela hit Marco Stunt with an F5 during one of my interviews. Like, it was insane this weekend. We had Andrew there, one of our great writers who really, really is standing out and doing great stuff. I want to personally thank Jeremy Lambert for running Fightful while I was gone. He did an amazing job. This is such a great team that we have. Alex, yourself, and Warren did the post show. Got great reviews. Y'all even went a little bit extra. That was great, especially for that monetization.
Yeah.
But that made me happy. Joe Hulbert, Gisberto Guzzo doing a lot of great stuff. Ryan Cook covering All Elite Wrestling. It was just an overwhelming weekend and a learning experience, especially from the technical end of things. Like at one point, MJF had secretly unhooked my microphone, Alex. So I would only get camera audio during our interview.
Maybe that's what happened tonight. Like he snuck in and unhooked your microphone tonight. It's possible.
I asked several people if they knew who stole Stokely Hathaway's CD player, in which MJF told me to get the fuck out of his hotel room. I was going to save this story for off the air, but I had a wrestler this weekend not recognize me, walk up to another wrestler and completely spoil a major finish for the show. Where the other person said, pointed at me and goes, "Wrestling reporter." I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's a few hours before the show. I think we can pass on that one.
Yeah.
But I was getting a lot of interviews that week over the weekend, and it was a lot of fun, and I got to meet a lot of great people. And we got Andrew on screen. Jimmy Van treated us very, very well. It was a good time, and it's even better because the Bucks are eliminated, Alex.
Yeah, well, when you play that poorly and the coach makes zero adjustments, you deserve to lose. So I'm hoping they'll be better next year because they couldn't be much worse than they were in the last 4 games of their season.
The sharpshooter says, Bill Apter on Blue Chew. Ladies, man, I don't know. I met him for the first time as well. Ross Gould sent a super chat and said, Alexa gets off work for her pig's birthday, but Natty has to work on hers. Payback for Brett in AEW?
Maybe.
I think Brett paid himself back for AEW because that promo was miserable.
Yeah.
He did horrible that night.
That was bad.
And all kinds of weird stuff there. The sharpshooter says, SRS wrestles in Toronto during SummerSlam week. Possible. I will be in Toronto. I am wrestling a little bit more these days, but I don't know if there's like a visa or a situation, like a legal situation, which I would have to jump through in order to make that happen. But I will be in Toronto for WrestleMania or SummerSlam week. I do hope to get some in-person interviews. That is going to be something that I do more of. But thank you guys so much. This week was very eye-opening. Sometimes, as I mentioned, you pay attention to a lot of the negative on social media, and I myself have done that. That's going to change because this weekend was unanimously positive. I got to meet people, like I said, Chris Van Vliet, Jason Solomon, JD from New York, Grim from Grimm's Toy Show, like a lot of people that do a lot of content like I do, but do it a lot differently than me. And it was just nonstop positive. I met the Wrestling Inc. guys. Like there was just a wonderful vibe this weekend. And that was just completely separate of AEW. Just a lot of positivity in that regard, meeting a lot of people. And Alex, hey, I mean, StarCast is going to be up in your neck of the woods soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying I could probably get you booked to beat Bill Apter on an indie show. Suburban Fight Pro, Alex Pawlowski versus Bill Apter.
That's good.
We're doing it.
Nice.
Guys, thank you all so much. Leave us a thumbs up. Until next time, we're out.